Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we're getting into some more Tower of God, and everything is happening right now. We have Bomb fighting Daniel, we have Run fighting the Guardian, we have Boro just KOing a random swordsman who was on the wrong side of the fight, I guess. We have Hwaryun, who's en route to where Rachel and Ko are, and the Hell Train. There's so much happening. There's so much going on at the moment. I'm stressed, but I also want to know what's going to happen. I want to see how this escalates because we're on a time limit. Time crunch. Let's just get into these chapters, see where we end up. All right. This was like way more brutal than I was expecting. Honestly, I was like, oh yeah, he's going to defeat him and continue on his journey, right? I was not expecting it to be so swift of him being like, oh, thanks. Now I understand how your sword works and your abilities. Bye. Oh, okay. Cool. We're not just killing off people. That's at least nice. It's a good question. Apparently she told a story and that's good enough for me. You're getting a flashback? We've already had other people be like something precious to me. I feel like Boro can get that because I need to talk to this specific person. I need to get into contact with Rachel again. There's a bunch of baggage there. That's why you're helping Bomb. Like, why are we pretending otherwise? Why are we pretending you're not convinced by the same thing? I feel like he got pretty far. Oh, wait. Turn back time. Time out. That is interesting. That explains why there are so many people who are like, the most important thing to me is on that train. Because I was like, okay, what is the thing that it could possibly be that it is that important to so many people? But if it's the ability to turn back time, that would be precious to a lot of people. Because how do you get back the thing that you have lost? How do you reverse the thing you regret the most? You turn back time and you go back to when it didn't happen. Or when you had that thing or you were with that person, right? Ooh, that raises the stakes. I'm like, I get it now. Makes me wonder with Bomb though, if he were to be able to turn back time, where would he go? Are we going to turn back time? Are we gonna reset in universe or something? You're just gonna leave that? The cliffhangers in this series, honestly. I'm so happy I get to binge it. I get to do multiple chapters per video because I'd be so mad if I have to wait the whole week. I know probably at some point I'll catch up, maybe, and then I'll have to wait, but I would be so mad. Are you saying irregularity like that's a bad thing? I feel like that's probably good, keeping you on your toes. Yeah, he's pretty good. Fast learner. Oh, we've had this person mentioned multiple times. I'm like, who is it? Have we met them? Do we know who they are? Or are they new? I never know when we allude to things. Wow, he was more perfect than you though. Calm down. We already knew that this was a trap, right? We knew, right? We understood. Ooh, the way it cuts away, again, the cliffhangers. But okay, now I'm also wondering, if we can turn back time, and that's what Rachel is after, where is she turning back time to? Like, where does she want to end up? What is the thing that she wants? That she would require that particular skill or ability, even temporarily. Dang, I love that shot. I love not only the angle of it, but I love how small Ren looks next to the hand. The way that it is dwarfing him in that frame is so good. We're not an illusion anymore? Maybe? I don't know, we already had before though, and they stuck through when Bomb got past, right? But maybe more powers being fed to him? It's a good question. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's real. I don't know what's fake. I don't know what we're dealing with. There's some animosity here. No, she's just, you tricked me. I take offense to that. I love the going through her thought process though of, do I stay on this path? Do I pick a new one? Is the false information that I fell for, was I meant to be here? Like how much of this is within my control? How much of this isn't? And her contemplating, weighing the odds. Do I continue going forward with this path because it was somehow fated for me? I was supposed to be here. I'm supposed to stay on this path. Or am I supposed to deviate from it and do something else? What am I supposed to do? And taking in all of the information and working through it. I love getting to see how her mind is working because a lot of the time we just get to see the results of what her mind does as opposed to actually getting some insight into what she's thinking about and contemplating. Ooh, another path. Ooh, I love that parallel of her and then Yura, right? The parallels between them and how they're like looking in the same kind of direction, but very different expressions and ways of reading the information. Nice. Yep. You can't go up against someone whose job is to find paths and to navigate through the tower, okay? She's gonna figure out a way. I also love how she's just balancing on the railing. There's something powerful, that in particular. Hello, angel person, who I'm assuming is not actually an angel. I don't trust anyone with blank eyes like that. Oh, okay, so we're talking about eating people. Sure. Why are we talking about eating people? He lies. We've established that. We've established that Daniel is a liar. He said that early on. Yeah, I go back and forth. There's a part of me that's, I'm gonna take it at face value, and then I'm like, oh yeah, he lies. And I have to remind myself of this. I'm like, I can't trust anything that he's saying because he's openly admitted that he's a liar, but he's also just proven time and time again that he's willing to twist the information, even if it's partly true, to get what he wants and to manipulate people. Would they be okay if the train left without them though? I feel like Daniel wouldn't, because I know that they're just waiting for Yoda. So if she shows up, they could just leave, right? Ooh, love that switch too of like how we have the kind of like one slanted angle here and then it matches up, but it's from a different viewpoint, right? We're changing the orientation, but there's some similarities between the shots. I like that. Yeah, again, he's trapped, right? And we already knew that this whole thing was a trap, right? We already knew before we had even started towards the hell train that we're like, this is a trap. They want us here on purpose. But again, he's a liar who lies. So I don't know how much to take in what he's saying. We know that's true. We know that he sent messages. Okay, so you're gonna be left behind if she gets there and the train takes off. I guess because it's super long, they can jump onto one of the other cars, which is what I was thinking before. I'm assuming the train's gonna leave and then Bum and his group are gonna have to jump onto the train on a different car further back and then work their way up through the train to wherever Rachel is, right? Because they've already established it's a very long train. It's a big train. I'm like, how much of it is true and how much of it is lies with anything that's being told to me? This poor guy. Honestly, just wandered into a conflict he didn't fully comprehend the extent of. Ooh, it's a lie. Interesting. Again, if you can turn back time to a different point, so getting what you wish for, in a way, getting what you want because you're able to go back in time, but then is it actually what you want, right? We can get to the butterfly effect of like how changing something in the past can have ripples into future events, but it could also be like, what if you can't change it, right? What if the series of events that you lived through is inevitable? Or even if you went back in time with the knowledge that you have, there's nothing you can do to change it. So you're just putting yourself through the experience again. You're gonna lose the most important things. You're gonna lose everything because there's nothing you can do to actually change the outcome, right? I think that we assume, oh, if I could go back in time to any point, what would I choose? Because we think that we can change it in some way or we can impact the results in some way. But that's not necessarily true. Even with our knowledge of the upcoming events, maybe there's nothing we can do. And all we do is we spend the time that we have being in that moment again with the person that we miss or the thing that we miss or in the place that we miss, the time that we miss. We can't enjoy it the same way that we did originally because we know what's coming and we're constantly desperately trying to avoid it, right? If you're with someone that you've lost and the whole time you're thinking about how do I avoid losing them again? I know that I'm going to lose them again in this panicked, desperate state. You can't enjoy just getting to be with that person again, right? The way that you did the first time around where you didn't know anything was going to happen. So you just got to be with that person. And maybe you can say, oh, I didn't spend enough time with them or I didn't get to say the things that I want. Then yeah, you get to do that. But I don't know. I think we just assume we can change events. And even if we know what's going to happen, it's not necessarily true that we get to do that. It's also called the Hell Train. So I think that we should keep that in mind with anything that goes on the train in particular. Of course, are we shocked that people are going to deceive you, Mom? After everything that has happened. We've been in the tower for years and you're still like, someone wanted to deceive me to get what they wanted? Come on, boy. You want to go back to hell. I believe that he seems unhinged enough that might revel in the chaos. He might like it. Don't close your eyes. Definitely fight back. Ooh. Again, love the lineup of Daniel's using his power and we have it lined up with her. She intentionally fell into the trap. Again, they knew what they were walking into. They knew it was probably gonna be dangerous and there was gonna be something waiting for them. They just didn't know exactly the extent of it. Yes, stay focused on who we're actually here to be in conflict with. Yeah, maybe they need the right people, right? Maybe they need certain people to be in a certain place at a certain time, right? For stuff to work. That must be really frustrating. It's someone whose thing is that they can see paths, right? Not just in the tower, but they can also see paths in terms of strategy, right? She's constantly being able to figure out, okay, if I do this, what are the domino effects of that action? And maneuvering in a certain way, pushing pieces slightly from one place to another to get the outcome that she wants, to then be like, every time I make a move now, things aren't turning out the way that I anticipated them, the way I predicted them. And that must be so frustrating as someone whose thing is being able to predict things and see the domino effect of actions and be like, no, the pieces aren't falling the way that they're supposed to. So what does that mean? And missing information must be so frustrating to her to be like, why don't I know what all the pieces are? I'm supposed to know what all the pieces are. Why do we have a Triton? Oh, did they eat her staff? Yeah. Y'all are so creepy. Between Daniel and this girl, what's with the eating thing? Calm down. That's true. The path that they're being distorted, should be a clue of something, right? Someone's meddling where they shouldn't be, or they have some other backing that can kind of mess with her particular abilities. Another guide, maybe? No, girl, I'm confused too. I haven't trusted Emily since day one, though. Let it be known that I was like, why are we blindly trusting this information? Because it feels like we shouldn't. So dramatic. So they don't need her, but they do need the people associated with her. Okay. I'm assuming Bum. We need Bum to be on the train for some reason. He's part of the plan. I don't know. It's Rachel. I'm assuming there's something he's supposed to be part of that's going to be able to do this turning back time thing. If it's real, if it's actually what they're going on the train to get, I don't know. I don't trust anything that's just told to me now. I'm like, I don't know. Who do we trust? Is the information factual? Are people just guessing? Is it a legend? I don't know. Can we talk about how she's doing all this in heels? Just saying. Our girl can fight. Oof, the way that it's all just blurred. Careful, Bum. We are trying to survive. Oh, see, I love the parallels between like Bum here, Daniel here, lining up those shots and having very different expressions to what's going on and contrasting them, but having other panels between them. So I don't know, it's cool to have that lineup that's happening, even switching between different stories that are happening right now, having similar actions happening in the panels, but with different, I say camera angles. I don't really know what it would be otherwise, but like different perspectives on the action, and then having parallel shots when we have more of a close-up of people's faces to really show the contrast between those characters. I love the harmony of that is just really cool. I'm sorry, we're using souls now? Is that why you want to be in hell again? For access to souls for control? He's a necromancer? I was like, oh, he's very creepy and unsettling, though his face does not match it. And now he controls the dead? Boy, I need you to stop making me uncomfortable with just doing the bare minimum. I also feel like it's a good tactic to use against Bomb, just like living souls, right? Bomb's gonna be like, oh, I can't hurt them because they're souls, they're people. So there's gonna be some hesitation to the way that he's interacting with his Shinsu, because he's gonna be like, I can't just attack souls. Yeah, I was like, we're not at full power yet, so if you're gonna corner him, you're gonna have to be ready for the consequences of that. Yep. Oh, it makes me nervous. I'm still nervous about this power and what it'll do to him and whether or not he'll be okay. None of his friends are just around. Some incentive to use it, but I'm still nervous. So much going on in these chapters of switching between these different storylines and re-establishing the timeline that we have, right? Because we're constantly flashing back to Rachel and being near the train and making sure that we're aware that there's still a time limit to everything that's happening, but also frantically switching between these different scenes, but like having different information being shared. I think that's a really good way of getting that information to the audience without it being like this huge info dump from like a single character who's just like, let me give you a whole monologue about our evil plan, right? It's like you actually have like multiple people who are like sharing like different bits of what the plan is, but when you pull it all together, you can get a better idea of what is actually going on. And I think that the introduction of the fact that what they're looking for is the ability to turn back time is really interesting. I was wondering what kind of thing would be on the train that would cause so many people to not only desire it, but to call it something that is really important to them, right? Like precious to them. What could that possibly be it would be like so universal that you would have that many people who are trying to get this singular thing that happens to be left on this train, right? And if it's controlling time or being able to go back in time, then that really opens up the doors. Yeah, of course it could be lots of people being able to get the thing that is most precious to them, because you can just turn back time to when you had it, right? Whatever that thing may be, whether that's a person or a place or an item or even just a way of life, right? Being able to go back to before a tragedy struck. I can definitely understand why so many people would want that particular ability. Whether or not that's actually true, I don't know. I don't know at this point. I'm like, you could all be lying. At least Daniel's I'm a liar. I'm like, anything that he says, I'm like, unless I have other verified information, I am not going to take it at face value. I'm like, oh, and I already messaged my friends. I'm like, I know that happened because I've seen it. Unless I can see with my own eyes, I don't trust anything that comes out of him. But with the other characters, I'm like, I don't know what to trust because y'all aren't trustworthy. And maybe you even have the wrong information. Maybe you genuinely believe that like the only person who said, oh, it's the ability to turn back time is the guy that was working with Yuta, right? Maybe that's what she told him and he believes that's actually what's on the train, but that doesn't mean that it's real. It doesn't mean that she actually told him the truth, and it doesn't mean that she actually knows the truth. She might think that and be like, oh, I'll have the ability to turn back time and get back something that was important to me that I lost, but maybe that was just told of her too, right? These aren't people who have actually been to that part of the train and can say, yes, absolutely, that's what's actually there. This is just what information is being shared around. Even if Rachel has told that to other people, is she saying that because she wants to manipulate them to get them to be on her side and to help her, or does she genuinely believe that? But even then, like, where did she get her information from, right? I'm like, I don't trust anyone at this point. There's layers to the telephone game of how that information got shared that I'm just like, I don't know. Until I see it, I don't believe it, right? And even the Boro being like, the only thing I know is that you'll lose everything. It's a lie. Whatever you get on the train, it isn't actually what you wanted. It isn't the actual thing that you're wishing for. You won't be able to actually get that. And I'm like, that feels like I trust him as much as I'm like, I don't trust anyone, but he seems to genuinely believe that, to be like, I went through the train, the hell train. I progressed pretty far in it. And I've seen the consequences of striving for that, right? Like, he's helped people with boarding the Hell train other times, but he's definitely doesn't seem to be interested in actually getting what is on the train anymore, because I understand the consequences now. Him being like, it's going to ruin you. It doesn't matter how good you think the possible outcome is. It's not going to give you what you actually want, right? So I don't know, but I don't trust it, right? I'm like, I don't know if that's actually what's gonna happen. And even if it is, even if you do have the ability to turn back time, again, is that the right option? Do you want to have that ripple effect into the future of affecting so many other events? You don't understand what will happen if you go back to that moment and you have knowledge that you didn't prior, what the impact of that will be. Can you have any impact, right? I don't know. Puts me on edge, but it does make me understand why so many people are desperate for it. So many powerful people. But also there were lots of powerful people who were like not interested in the train. Lady Yuri were just like, why would I care about the Hell train? That also makes me question. That makes me question why the majority of powerful people don't seem to be interested in the Hell train, with the exception of knowing that more powerful people are going to be there, right? People know that Bomb's going to be there, so they're interested in getting on the train, and because of that, other people are interested because it's going to be an actual challenge now. I don't know. That's my summary at this point. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just here for the ride. But I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click those plays to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to this next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!